Revenge for cheating. But I didn't cheat. I always thought my relationship with Masha was solid. We had been dating for nearly 2 years, and yeah, we had our ups and downs, but nothing major. At least I thought so. That was until one fateful day when I came home and found my phone shattered into a million pieces on the floor. At first, I thought I had been robbed. My PlayStation was missing. My favorite hoodie had been cut to shreds. My chair had a huge coffee stain on it, and my gaming mouse was submerged in what I assumed was her morning smoothie. And then I saw it. A note, scribbled in furious handwriting on a ripped-out page from my own notebook. Now we're even. Even for what? I called Masha immediately, using my laptop since my phone was now nothing more than an expensive paperweight. She picked up and answered with a cold, deadly, "What do you want?" "I want to know why you turned my apartment into a crime scene. What the hell happened?" Her laugh was bitter. "Oh, you don't know? You don't know, huh? Maybe ask your little side chick." "What side chick?" Then she sent me screenshots. Screenshots from an Instagram account. An account I had never seen before in my life. The username was incredibly close to mine, just one letter off. The guy had a similar profile picture, same hair color, same kind of clothes, even a cat that looked like mine. And Masha, in her rage-fueled paranoia, had convinced herself that this was me. And this guy? Yeah, he was cheating. His account was full of DMs with different girls, flirty comments, and posts about keeping secrets from my main girl. But it wasn't me. And my PlayStation was still missing. I sent her a screenshot of my actual Instagram account. Then, I sent a voice message because typing wasn't enough to convey my complete and utter disbelief. "Masha, this isn't. Look at the username. IT." She read the message. The typing bubbles popped up, then disappeared, then popped up again, then disappeared again. 2 minutes later, she called. Oh, that's all you have to say." She went silent. So, funny story. No funny stories. Where is my PlayStation? Another pause. I kind of sold it. I had to physically sit down before my knees gave out. You sold my PS5 because some random dude cheated on his girlfriend? Look, in my defense. There is no defense. Masha started apologizing. A lot. Saying she had let her emotions get the best of her, that she should have double-checked, that she'd buy me a new PlayStation. I told her to keep the money and just stay out of my life. She tried to say, "But we can fix this." Girl, you can't even fix your ability to read usernames correctly. Long story short, we broke up. And I spent the next month trying to track down the random dude who had my PlayStation. The perfect boyfriend, but not for her. I always knew my girlfriend's best friend, Alina, was a little too friendly. She was always around, always complimenting me, always acting like my biggest fan. At first, I thought nothing of it. She's just a supportive friend, I told myself. She probably just really likes that her bestie is in a happy relationship. It turns out, Alina wasn't rooting for my relationship. She was rooting for herself. It all came crashing down one evening when I ran into Alina alone. I was waiting for my girlfriend, Masha, to get off work, and Alina just happened to be there. "Hey, we need to talk," she said, a little too seriously. Okay." I figured she wanted to rant about something, maybe complain about a guy she was dating. Nope. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You deserve better than Masha." I blinked. "What?" "I mean it. You're too good for her. You need someone who really appreciates you. Someone like me." I choked on my own spit. "Wait, what?" She smiled. "Come on, you had to have noticed." "Noticed? Noticed what?" "That every time she saw me, she smiled like a cartoon villain about to execute her master plan? That she laughed a little too hard at my bad jokes? That she was always the one to suggest double dates, only to somehow make it about her and me? No, I didn't notice because I wasn't out here trying to star in a cheap romance novel. I immediately shut it down. "Alina, I'm with Masha. Love her." "This is insane." She shrugged. "You're just saying that because you don't realize how bad she is for you." Oh great. Now she's in the I know what's best for you phase. I left before I could say something regrettable. But guess what? Alina didn't back off. If anything, she doubled down. Every time we all hung out, she found an excuse to get me alone. Complimenting me nonstop. Laughing at everything I said. Finding reasons to touch my arm. I swear, if she was any more obvious, she'd be carrying a neon sign that said, "Dump your girlfriend and date me." And the worst part? Masha had no idea. The secret smile. I started acting weird. Avoiding Alina. Keeping conversations short. Sitting as far away as possible. Masha, being the sweet and trusting girlfriend she was, just thought Alina and I were becoming better friends. "You two get along so well," she said one night. "She always smiles when she sees you." Yeah, I know. And I couldn't tell Masha, because what was I supposed to say? "Hey babe, your best friend wants to steal me?" That sounded insane. And honestly, part of me thought she wouldn't believe me. I mean, Alina was her best friend. They had known each other for years. She trusted her. But I didn't. One night, things finally exploded. Masha invited me over for dinner, and of course, Alina was there. At some point, Masha went to the kitchen, leaving me and Alina alone. She wasted zero time. "Why are you avoiding me?" she asked, crossing her arms. "Because you keep making things weird." She sighed. "I'm not trying to make things weird. I'm just trying to show you that I'm the better option." "Alina, stop. You don't even sound convinced when you say no." That's when I snapped. "I am convinced. I love Masha. I don't want you. And if you actually cared about her, you'd stop acting like this." Masha walked in at the worst possible moment. "Stop acting like what?" she asked. Silence. Alina and I just stared at each other. I was waiting for her to lie her way out of this. She smirked. "Guess he finally told you." Masha blinked. "Told me what?" Alina smiled wider. "That I'm in love with him." Masha went pale. Then red. Then she looked at me, waiting for an explanation. I told her everything. The flirting. The comments. The touches. The weird obsession. Masha looked at Alina like she had never seen her before. And then, in the coldest voice I've ever heard, she just said, "Get out." Alina's smile dropped. "What? Get? I don't ever want to see you again." Alina tried to argue. She tried to say she was just being honest, and that Masha would understand one day. But Masha was done. She grabbed Alina's purse, threw it at her, and slammed the door behind her. And just like that, their friendship was over. Where are they now? Masha and I stayed together. Stronger than ever, actually. I think seeing Alina's betrayal just made her appreciate me even more. And Alina? She still tries to contact me sometimes. Just to check in. I ignore every message. Because I already learned my lesson. Some people don't want to see you happy. They just want you for themselves. And I am never falling for that again. The innocent prank that almost got me killed. I've always considered myself a funny guy. You know, the kind of guy who loves a good joke, especially when it comes to messing around with my girlfriend, Katia. She's usually cool with my antics, until one day, I made a catastrophic mistake. It all started when I was scrolling through Instagram and saw a prank video where a guy made his girlfriend think he was cheating by planting some random girl's item in his room. She freaked out, then they laughed about it later. Simple, right? I, being an idiot, thought, hey, this would be hilarious. Spoiler, it was not. I found a random women's sweater in my closet. No idea how it got there. Probably one of Katia's old ones, or maybe it belonged to an ex and had been living rent-free in my room for years. Didn't matter. I shoved it under the bed, making sure just enough of the fabric peeked out for her to notice. Then I sat back and waited. A few hours later, Katia came over. Everything was fine at first. She kissed me hello, started telling me about her day, and then, silence. I glanced over. She had stopped mid-sentence, eyes locked on the edge of the sweater sticking out from under my bed. "What the hell is this?" she asked, bending down to pull it out. I should have confessed right there and then. I should have said, "Babe, wait, it's a joke." But my dumbass thought it would be funnier to act confused. "That's not mine." She slowly turned to me, holding up the sweater like it was a murder weapon. Then whose is it? I shrugged. I have no idea. Big mistake. Within 3 seconds, Katia went through all 5 stages of grief simultaneously. Denial, no, you wouldn't cheat on me, right? Anger, you absolute piece of shit. Bargaining, just tell me the truth and maybe I won't kill you. Depression, I can't believe I trusted you. Acceptance, you're dead. I barely had time to react before she started pacing the room, ranting at 100 miles per hour. I tried cutting in, babe, wait, I can explain. But she was already listing off possible suspects. Who was it? Dasha? That girl from your gym? The waitress who smiled at you that one time? At this point I realized 2 things. This prank had gone horribly, irreversibly wrong. If I didn't fix this ASAP, my obituary would read, died due to being a dumbass. I panicked. I grabbed the sweater, looked at it closely for the first time and then, oh no, it was her sweater. Like 100% hers. I had just framed myself for a crime I didn't even commit. The confession. Babe, it's yours. I yelled, shoving it at her. She stopped mid-rant. What? This sweater is yours. Her eyes narrowed. You're lying. No, I'm not. Look at the tag. She grabbed the sweater and, with the fury of a woman who was still 95% sure I was a cheater, checked the tag. Silence. Then, oh. I exhaled so hard I almost collapsed. See? She looked up at me, blinking. Her anger started melting away. This is mine? Yes. She held it up, frowning. Oh yeah, I thought I lost this months ago. I stared at her, still traumatized from the past 5 minutes. So you just accused me of cheating over your own damn sweater? She had the audacity to laugh. Well, in my defense, she said, you acted super guilty. Because you were screaming at me. I was so done. I flopped onto the bed, trying to calm my nerves. Katia, now fully unbothered, sat next to me, poking my arm. Hey! No. Come on, it's kind of funny. I glared at her. I nearly had a heart attack. She grinned. See? Now you know how I felt for 5 minutes. Consider us even. I swore right then and there to never, ever pull another prank on this woman again. Because let's be real, if she could go full psycho mode on herself, imagine what she'd do to me if I ever actually messed up. I'm just grateful to be alive. Parents disapprove. I knew introducing my girlfriend to my parents was going to be a gamble, but I didn't expect to lose this badly. We'd been dating for 6 months. Things were going well. She was smart, funny, and most importantly, hadn't yet realized I was a complete idiot. So naturally, I figured it was time for the meeting. I don't know what kind of delusional optimism made me believe my parents would be chill. They had never been chill. I could bring home Margot and my mom would say, I don't like how she holds her fork. Still I was hopeful. Big mistake. We walked into my childhood home, and my mom gave my girlfriend a once-over that lasted an eternity. Then she smiled, but not the good kind of smile. I just found something to judge kind. We barely sat down when she hit me with, "'Tis very nice. But her ears are a little different." I blinked. What? The shape. It's not ideal. My girlfriend looked at me, confused. I looked at my dad for help. Big mistake number 2. He just nodded and added, yeah, your ex had really nice ears. We liked her. I almost choked on my own spit. Are you serious? You're comparing their ear shapes. Shrugged. Details matter. I was about to start yelling when my phone buzzed. A text. From my ex. Hey, your mom invited me over for tea. You there? I looked at my parents in horror. You invited my ex over? On the same day I bring my new girlfriend? Dad, still casually drinking his tea, just said, she was in the area. What? Actual. At this point my girlfriend was done. She stood up, gave me a polite "we'll talk later," and left before I could stop her. I wanted to run after her, but before I could move, the doorbell rang. My ex walked in, all smiles. holding a box of chocolates like she hadn't just been invited to the most awkward family reunion of all time. And that's how I ended up at a cafe with my ex. Somehow, 1 hour later, I was sitting across from my ex in a cafe, because after the nuclear disaster that was my family, I needed to breathe. "So," she said, sipping her coffee, "how's your mom?" I stared at her. "She likes your ears." She burst out laughing. I wanted to cry. "You know," she said, "if your parents ever get a divorce, I'm calling dibs on your dad. He's hilarious." I was never introducing anyone to my parents again. Marriage on a bet. It all started with a bottle of whiskey and a stupid bet. We were drunk. Not just a little tipsy, let's text our exes drunk, but full-on bet your future on a joke drunk. My best friend, Dima, threw it out there first. "Bet none of you has the balls to propose on a first date." We all laughed. Of course, no one in their right mind would do that. Except, as it turned out, I wasn't exactly in my right mind. "I'll do it," I announced, already 3 shots past my common sense. The room went quiet. Then, cheers erupted. Money was thrown onto the table. Someone started Googling the closest places to find a first date victim. And that's how I ended up sitting across from Anya, or was it Alina, in a dimly lit bar, barely remembering how I'd swiped right on her. She looked skeptical from the start, probably sensing the alcohol radiating off of me. But I powered through. "So," I said, holding her gaze with the intensity of a man about to make the dumbest decision of his life. "Wanna get married?" She blinked. Then, instead of laughing in my face or throwing her drink at me, both completely reasonable reactions, she just smirked. "You're insane." And? I like insane. Shit. I wasn't ready for that answer. The morning after, I woke up with a headache so powerful it could have been classified as a natural disaster. The sun was stabbing my eyes. My phone had 37 missed calls. And lying next to me, fully clothed but snoring like a freight train, was my wife. Wife. I shot up so fast my brain tried to exit my skull. I scrambled for my phone, swiping through a collection of blurry, horrifying photos from the previous night. There it was, the Zags Registry Office document. Legal. No. I nudged the girl next to me. Hey. She groaned, rolled over, and squinted at me. Then, slowly, realization dawned across her face. "Oh shit. Oh shit? That's all you have to say?" I hissed. "We got married." She sat up, rubbing her temples. "Yeah, I remember now. There was a guy with a mullet at the Zags who kept yelling, 'Kiss the bride.' And a lady named Svetlana who gave us a discount because she thought we were cute." I covered my face. "We need to annul this. Immediately." She tilted her head. "But we don't even know each other yet." "Exactly." She grinned. "Then let's get to know each other first. Worst case scenario, we get divorced later. Best case scenario, well, who knows?" This woman was way too calm about legally binding herself to a total stranger. I didn't know whether to be impressed or terrified. The honeymoon phase, aka chaos mode. For some reason, I didn't immediately file for annulment. Partly because my hangover lasted 3 days, but also because Anya/Alina, still not 100% sure at that point, was kind of fun. She convinced me to lean into the insanity. We told our families. My mom cried. Her dad laughed for a solid 5 minutes, then offered me vodka. My friends lost their minds. "Dude, we thought you'd just pop the question and get rejected. Not actually pull it off." "Yeah. Me too." We moved in together for the hell of it. At first, it was hilarious, like playing house but with alcohol and zero responsibility. We argued about toothpaste brands, took ridiculous couple selfies, and hosted fake wedding receptions just to mess with people. But then, things got weird. It started over something stupid, a missing sock. "You probably lost it in the laundry." "No, you lost it." "Why would I take your sock? What kind of psychopath steals socks?" "You tell me, wife." That's when it hit us. We were actually married. Like, legally bound to each other. No longer just a joke, but an actual, functioning, kind of married couple. And for some reason, that realization scared the hell out of both of us. We lasted 2 months. 2 months of absolute chaos, laughter, and a surprising amount of genuine connection. But in the end, we both knew the truth. This was a drunken accident that had spiraled out of control. Filing for divorce was weirdly bittersweet. We high-fived as we signed the papers. She even joked, "Let's do this again sometime." Absolutely not. And that was it. The craziest, dumbest, most ridiculous thing I had ever done. Until a year later, when I got a wedding invitation. From her. Marrying the Zags guy with the mullet. I showed up, of course. Gotta support the ex-wife. And yeah, I stole her sock. Threesome, but not like that. When my girlfriend said, "Let's try something new in our relationship," my brain immediately short-circuited in the best way possible. "Oh, what are you thinking?" I asked, already mentally preparing my acceptance speech for the Luckiest Man Alive award. She smirked and leaned in. "A trip to my grandmother's house. In the village. Just the 3 of us." I paused. "The 3 of us? You, me, and my babushka." That was not the kind of threesome I had in mind. Arrival at the edge of civilization. The village was exactly what I feared. No Wi-Fi, no supermarkets, no escape. Just a wooden house with creaky floors, chickens running around the yard, and a babushka who looked at me like she could smell the city boy on me. "Skinny. Weekends. Do you even chop wood?" she muttered as she hugged her granddaughter. "Nice to meet you too, babushka," I replied. She ignored me and immediately started throwing food on the table. Boiled potatoes, pickles, herring, black bread, and something that smelled like it could strip paint off walls. "Drink," she said, pouring me a glass of her homemade samagon, munchi. I looked at my girlfriend for help. She just smiled. "It's for your health. And potential." Potential for what? Life in a love triangle, with babushka. Day 1 was rough. Babushka woke us up at 6 a.m. She handed me an axe and pointed to a pile of logs. "Chop." By noon, I had blisters on my blisters. My girlfriend? She was inside, drinking tea, listening to babushka's stories about how men used to be real men. By evening, I was too tired to function. I collapsed onto the tiny, Soviet-era couch in the living room, dreaming of Wi-Fi and takeout. But sleep wasn't on the menu. Babushka sat across from me, sipping tea and staring. "So, you love my granddaughter?" "Of course." "Then why no babies yet?" "Excuse me?" She shook her head, disappointed. "Back in my day, you marry in spring, baby comes in winter. Simple. You too, nothing. Maybe you need more borscht. Or more samagon. For strength." My girlfriend was dying of laughter in the kitchen. I was dying inside. Each day was a new challenge. Day 2, babushka sent me to herd geese. The geese herded me. Day 3, she made me milk a goat. The goat was having none of it. Day 4, I asked if I could take a nap. She laughed for 5 minutes straight. By the end of the week, my city boy soul was shattered. I was dirty, tired, and probably had a spiritual bond with that goat now. But I had earned something valuable, babushka's respect. The final test. On the last night, babushka handed me a final glass of samagon. "You survived," she said. "Maybe you are man after all." My girlfriend hugged me. "See? It wasn't that bad." I just stared into the distance, remembering the geese. "Yeah. Sure." As we packed to leave, babushka pulled me aside. "Come back soon. And next time, bring me a great-grandchild." I laughed. Then I realized she wasn't joking. We got on the bus. I checked my phone for the first time in days. No service. Babushka waved from the porch. "Soon," she called. I shivered.